I'm Gaurav at Garden Talk Club, and you are at the right place to know more about an interesting topic today. That's what's more important, to make money or to be more comfortable. If you're new to this channel, I'm so glad you are here. My name is Gaurav, and I'm here to simplify interesting topics. So today's topic is about the buzz of what's more important, to make money or to be comfortable. For people of our generation and the current one, is it more important to make money or to be comfortable? We have to do that, judging. Judging from the current situation in our country, ordinary people of our generation most likely have only two life paths to choose from. One, fight to be the king of troubles in a place where there is a lot of money and a lot of troubles, sacrificing comfort and life in exchange for money. Second, living peacefully in a place with little money, few things to do, sacrificing income for comfort. This means that for ordinary people, making money or being comfortable cannot be achieved both, but they must be forced to choose one or the other. And even this kind of choice only belongs to few outstanding people who have the choice. The vast majority of people can only live in places with little money, less work, and far away from home, and live by day to day. The ordinary people mentioned here in my video refer to people without much background support, regardless of whether they are from prestigious universities in the metro, ordinary graduates, or manual workers. The vast majority of people belong to the ranks of ordinary people. As for those places where you can make money comfortably with a lot of money but little work, there are definitely some places. However, in reality, some places are either extremely involution and require ordinary people to cross a single plank bridge with thousands of, say, troops and horses, or they have extremely high entry barriers and will only be digested by the insiders and have nothing to do with ordinary people. Even if ordinary people successfully enter those places where it is said that there is more money and less work, ordinary people are likely to be sent to those very busy positions in the name of training, taking responsibility. You would have heard those words. For insiders, even in the companies that are recognized as tried, they can find suitable positions and make money comfortably. Example, in some state-owned enterprises, what you say, PSUs and large private companies, children and relatives with average academic qualifications can easily enter high-quality jobs. They can sit in an office from 9 to 5, direct others to work and get promotions, salary incrementals as fast as rocket. For people relying on qualifications from prestigious schools, excellent awards, internship experience, and other stepping stones after going through a complicated recruitment process also with very high elimination rate, they finally get an offer. And what awaits them is likely to be daily overtime work and business trips. There are too many commanded and even remote jobs at grassroots level. This is a bit of a tangent and back to the topic of ordinary people choosing between making money and being comfortable. In fact, the outcomes of these two life choices can be predicted by combining realistic observation, historical experience, and thinking, deduction. And of course, these are just predictions. For ordinary people who strive to be the king of troubles in place where there is a lot of money, the things to do, exchanging life for money can improve material conditions and social class. But it is also very likely to live in a life of exchanging life for money in the first half of life and exchanging money for lives in the second half of the life. Life, the vast majority of our generation will follow this path. Historical experience and realistic observation show that excessive work intensity will inevitably lead to decline in physical health and life happiness. Also, even shorten lifespan. During the period of large scale industry in industrialization in US and Europe, average per capita was high. The working environment was crowded factories full of dust. The environment was seriously polluted. Workers would suffer from overwork and various occupational diseases in their early 20s, 30s. Average life expectancy was also very less. The same goes for white collar workers in cubicles who are prone to working overtime. Potential impacts such as excessive work intensity, noise working environment, tiring working atmosphere, bad eating habits, irregular life schedules will all lead to series of physical and mental health problems. Or is it chronic disease that only appeared in the middle-aged and older generations of the previous generation, or a psychological problem that did not appear in the parents' generation? Due to intensity of work, these diseases appear from scratch and much earlier, as everybody says. As in the age of workers increases, these diseases will gradually appear, profoundly affecting their working conditions and quality of life. For young people in their 20s, health problems are not obvious, even if they are squeezed by excessive work intensity. At this stage, young people's bodies can still withstand stress. They can endure the hard work for several years. They can stay up late watching videos and playing games and still feel energetic the next day. That statement was made by Infosys for, say, 18 hours of work. Therefore, this stage is the golden period for workers to exchange their lives for money and develop their careers. People are often instilled with the single value of career success and plunge into work with the concept of eating hardships. Only then can you become a better person. Also, because most people don't know how to live their entertainment and pastimes are relatively simple and they don't know how to control their free time. Many people even find rental houses boring and take the initiative to stay in the workplace longer period of time to browse the internet, have some snacks, stay longer with colleagues to satisfy their social needs. The physical and mental health problems at this stage are best reflected in the signs, scrolling, reminder of some physical examination indicators. Most people will not care about the exceeding standard of physical indicators or are too busy and tired from work, even if they know there is no way to take care of the body's feelings. Over time, some excessive physical indicators that have been ignored for a long time will gradually accumulate until the worker's body feels them. So after working as a laborer for several years, some minor problems begin to come to your door. Cervical spondylitis, lumbar disc, sciatica, viscose vein, right? All those things, standing for too long, excessive physical exertion, eye pain, insomnia are caused by, say, example, noisy cubicle or production line environment, excessive use of eyes, excessive work pressure, irregular life schedule, so stomach indigestion. So all these are coming on, say example, to high blood pressure, blood lipids, decreased heart function, high uric acid. So this is our medical terminology coming in due to long working hours, frequent staying up late, poor diet and rest, no time to exercise, anxiety, irritability, social anxiety, self-doubt due to long working hours, excessive work pressure, superiors, right? These minor problems will not affect lifespan and basic life, but will seriously affect working conditions. For example, if you have an eye problem, you can't look at the computer for too long. And the computer is the main productivity tool for all white collar workers in cubicles. Many employees who work overtime seriously have the problem of overuse of their eyes. For another example, the problems such as stomach pain, cervical, and other problems will affect appetite, sleep quality, making people feel sluggish. They'll be sleepy at work during the day. Many employees will doze off during the office hours. Starting from this age, the workers begin to spend the peak period of their career and start to be photographed on the beach by the post-wave kings. Although contemporary young people have paid great attention to healthcare, self-rescue behaviors such as soaking in, say, thermos cup of coffee have extremely limited effects in the face of losses caused by work. By the time you reach your 30s or 40s, as your body's function naturally decline, the above minor problems begin to evolve into chronic diseases. For example, eye diseases, migraine nerve compression, coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, gastric ulcers, gout, anxiety disorders, depression, etc. Normally, these diseases will not appear or they will only occur in the middle aged and elderly. So what happens? At this stage, the worker's health is not too bad and they have at most two or three chronic diseases. However, the existing of chronic diseases will make workers' working condition sluggish and they will be powerless. If they want to continue to work, they need to be frequently asked for leave from company. Many workers at this stage have also started families, right? Two parts. If their partner is not particularly idle, stays home full time, they will definitely have to share the work life balance, family affairs, and will be distracted from work. In view of current situation of domestic demographic dividend or say lack of labor protections, at this age, if workers are not in those units with permanent employment, excellent humanistic care and really lacking people to work, they will definitely, like most white collar, probably won't be able to keep their jobs. Either they work in small, medium, micro enterprises to extend their careers midway, they languish in marginalized position, or they have to set up a stall to deliver food, drive an online ride-hailing app service, work as a security guard, or engage in self-media. According to the current mainstream work intensity in this society, the stage will probably appear around the age of 35 to 40. High intensity work leads to physical and mental health problems, making it difficult to continue to be competent at work. It's also a manifestation of midlife crisis. This is similar to saying to the fact that when camel gets old, he can't outrun the young driver and can't pull him. By the time we reach our, say, 40s or 50s, chronic diseases begin to accumulate more and more. At this time, too many chronic diseases will obviously affect the quality of life. People cannot eat well, cannot sleep well, cannot enjoy. They may be out of breath when climbing several flights of stairs or walking hundreds of meters. They need to go to the hospital frequently. Some people with poor health, it has become a medicine jar, right? For taking medicines every day. A lot of money is spent on medical expenses. It should be okay if you have medical insurance. Maybe this covers. In this case, the white collar workers should not be talking about being competent for the job. It would be good if they could pick up their children to and from school normally, move around freely in the community. Some people with poor health are not far away from being bedridden in the true sense of this. At this time, many people may have not reached the theoretical retirement and pension age, and many people may not have even paid off the 30-year house loan. This stage is also when there are elders above and young below. It is the time when you need to fully support the family. As a result, your physical condition may be worse than that of your parents in their 70s or 80s. In addition to the health losses caused by the intensity of work, the family experience of workers is also not ideal. Workers who often work overtime find it difficult to devote time and energy to finding a partner if they are not married to their classmates and colleagues. The probability of becoming leftover men and women and also unmarried will be very high. Even if they start a family, people who often work overtime can easily be marginalized in their family roles and become come with or go without a trace kind of thing in the eyes of their children and partners. They communicate too little with their partners and have a strange relationship. It's the key. They cannot participate in the growth of their children, the whole process. Over time, the possibility of family divorce will greatly increase. Children who lack the companionship of everyone because the parents are too busy will develop psychological problems such as insecurity, social fear, poor ability to resist frustration when they grow up. In contrast to those who choose to live in a position with less money and fewer things to do will most likely have the bear the mental pressure of secular values and live a sleeping life of not very high quality. But people who can take this route are more comfortable and healthy, have more free time at their disposal. That is very important. Their health can be better protected without being overly depleted by overtime work, including the people who take the scrolling route described above earlier. Many people will also find ways to switch to this path as they age and have health problems. For example, a planning route that is hotly discussed in the internet. The reality is to work in a big factory to make money before the age of 35 and then take the social political route or say any public work around the age of 35. For an example, some people will try to accumulate large amount of money when they are young and then they quit the jobs when they are in their say 30s or 40s, having to rely on savings and interest to completely quit their jobs and live a reduced version of life of wealth and freedom. That is time and freedom. However, for today's young generation, those who take this path are also under great pressure. This path adheres to the concept of can afford to hide, trying to rely on the card accumulated in one hand to give oneself more choices than find few average income workers in the society where overtime is rampant, living in a relatively leisure job. However, in a society where overtime is rampant, as time goes by, such positions will become fewer and fewer. The idea of just living on the job will also become increasingly difficult to practice, which is a survival in the cracks kind of thing strategy. Moreover, in the eyes of outsider people who take this route will become unbelievable. Things such as going to, say, the street office to get a master's degree is great. In university, taking the doctoral examination for urban management from IIT, graduates from prestigious schools becoming primary school teachers. Big news such as factory employees quit to set up shop, you will hear, will definitely be surprising to people who do not understand the actual situation. And when sparks heated discussions are there on the internet and all over, in reality, social world, this means that people who take this part have to bear the pressure of staying away from secular values and become a topic of gossip for others, especially middle-aged and elderly people. Generally speaking, they are gossiped about and labeled as failures. Go your own way and let others speak. Other people's saliva may really drown. In addition, people who take this path are likely to be not very gregarious enough. They have few friends and colleagues in real life, need to adapt to long-term alone life rhythm. Therefore, for the two routes that ordinary people of this generation can take, the experience does not seem to be very good. People can only choose the either or the odd path that suits them based on their self-evaluation of what they want most and what they can sacrifice. As for the purpose of this video, summarizing main points as follows. One, our generation may rely on the fact that we are still young and don't pay enough attention to physical health. Most companies do not provide benefits such as regular physical examination and humanized care. Many people have already developed physical index problems, some insecurities also, big or small problems. Here we remind you to pay attention to your physical health, eat regularly, rest regularly, exercise moderately, and go to hospital for a physical examination every year to know your internals, mental condition also. Second, it's easy for people to pin all their happiness and sense of achievement on work and career, leading to problems in life. In today's environment of unequal efforts and gains, people can easily fall into confusion and depression. Don't put all your happiness on work. No matter how busy you are at work, you must find balance work and life. Everything else, do not pay much attention to what your boss, supervisors say and be a heartless person appropriately. People learn to live and find sources of happiness. In addition to develop a strong heart, firmly follow the path you want to take, live the life you want to, and do not be bound by a single value. Third point, if you want to strive for a social environment where you can make money comfortably or seek a fair and happy future for your future gen, You must give up the idea of surviving in the cracks and accepting the things as they come by. If you don't develop the habit of proactively defending your own rights and interests, you will have less and less cake in your hands. Finally, don't choose between comfort and making money. Everyone may become nothing. You have to choose. This may require every ordinary person to pay a certain price, but it is the accumulation of countless small events that finally condenses the wheel of history forward, right? Expand internal income channels to combat future uncertainty. Thank you. So these were a few basics ways to get you to start. Be sure to like and subscribe my channel for updates to this topic plus host of other topics. Also, be sure to share this video with your friends for further discussions. Beyond this, if you are interested in more of these videos, do comment below and thank you for following this video till the very end.